Alright, what's up y'all, LakerFan here. As y'all can see by the title of today's video, here to rank every takeover in NBA 2K22 Next Gen in tiers F through S, so I hope y'all enjoy. If you do, free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on the noties, all that good stuff, and like always, try to 1,000 likes. Now, this is not your typical current gen takeover tier list where there's going to be just 8 of them, simple like that. There are 24 of these. There's 3 of each, except Sharp has 2 and Post has 4. So that all kind of averages out to pretty much every takeover option has 3 of them. So we're going to go over all of them. I hope y'all enjoy. And like I said, if you do, free to drop a like. But other than that, we're going to get straight into this. Also, every takeover category is going to be color coded into the same color. So for instance, every post score takeover is going to be pink. Every Sharp takeover is going to be green. Every slash takeover is going to be blue. You'll catch the drift of this as we show more takeovers throughout the course of the list. But anyway, as you can see, I have no F tier takeovers. I don't really feel like there's any completely useless takeovers out there. While there are things like power backdowns and post playmaking, which I feel like there's just way better post takeovers out there. And really, I feel like there's a badge literally for power backdowns. There are 2 badges to help you pass out of the post, Dimer and post playmaker. So really, I just don't think these 2 takeovers see any utility. Again, I don't think what their ability does is any good. However, obviously post takeover is still its own thing. Just having post takeover in general is going to allow you to drop step people better, post spin people better, hit post fades and hooks better. It's just going to be something that naturally happens. However, again, the actual perk of what it's supposed to do for you, I feel like these 2 are pretty useless because there's actual badges in the game that help you do so. So we have them in E tier. Alright, so in the D tier, we have 2 of them that just don't really do you a whole lot. So we got Advanced Gathers and Interior Badge Drop. I feel like the Interior Badge Drop, it would be very good for defending slashers. However, pure slashers are very irrelevant in this game. I feel like I'm one of the only people who's even doing it at this point. So really it just comes down to you're not going to play a whole lot of people who are going to have any relevancy for you running this takeover to play against them. Now, if you are knowingly going to play someone who's a pure slasher, this could be a pretty valid takeover for you. Maybe in rec as well, it could be pretty solid, but I feel like things like stuff blocks are just so much better of a takeover option for rim protectors out there. I don't see why you would really run Interior Badge Drop personally. And then for Advanced Gathers, it's kind of the same thing. I don't really see why you wouldn't just run finishing moves, and Easy Blowbys is a whole different category than those 2. I believe Easy Blowbys is more of a Sharp takeover badge than it actually is a slasher. Personally, I think of it more like that, but obviously Easy Blowbys is still a finishing takeover. Anyway, so for Advanced Gathers, I feel like this is a little bit too complex for a takeover. I don't really like the fact that it's only going to help you with spins, hops, all types of stuff like that. And realistically, I just don't think it's worth it. And it doesn't fit a lot of people's style either, I would assume, where in this game, I feel like it's very simply just put ISO for 3-pointer, boom, you take the dunk when it's there. I don't think a lot of people even run slash takeover in the first place, but for all the slashers out there, I just don't see why you wouldn't just run finishing moves. So again, just a couple low tier takeovers right here that aren't completely useless. Obviously, if you still run it, you'll still see some increase to what you want to actually be better at, but I just feel like there's a whole lot of better options in every one of these takeover options themselves. Alright, so as you can see, we got a lot of takeovers in the C tier. We got Easy Blowbys for the finishing. We got Team Badge Boost for the playmaking. We got Box Out Wall and Glass Clearing Dimes for the glass takeovers. We got Extreme Clamps for the lockdown, and then for another rim takeover, we have Paint Intimidation. So we're going to start with Paint Intimidation. It's very similar to the sake of Interior Badge Drop. I just think that Stuff Blocks is by far the best rim take out there, and realistically, rim takeover is a little bit hard to actually use in this game where it's a lot of ISO for 3-pointers and a lot of spacing on the court and stuff like that. So it's not every day that you run into an inside big or someone that you're going to comfortably drop off of in the corner or anything like that. For, again, rec and stuff like that, it does make sense if you're sitting at the bottom. But again, I just think Stuff Blocks is by far better than both those takeovers in the rim take options. For Glass Clearing Dimes, I don't think this is really necessary considering post playmaker like badge, not the takeover, because I know post playmaking is a takeover, but there is a badge called post playmaker where when you pass out of the post or an offensive rebound, receivers are given a shot boost. It's pretty much the same thing as this. I just feel like if you have a badge that's going to constantly help you with it, I don't see what the point of this would be. However, Glass Clearing Dimes also does help you throw outlet passes. So if you're someone who, again, is playing rec or pro-am and you are constantly sitting in the bottom of a 3-2 or sitting in the paint all game, it does make sense. This is actually a pretty solid thing to do. Box Out Wall, however, is going to be completely different than this. It's nothing to do with actually grabbing the rebounds and kicking out. Obviously, that's just a Glass Clearing Dime specific thing. Box Out Wall is going to help you secure box out stronger, and it's also an extension of Worm. So you have box and Worm tied into one takeover. Again, I personally just don't like the takeovers that are essentially just something that you're copying badges or getting a boost to certain badges and stuff like that. Pretty much, I don't really think that's worth it if you ask me. And speaking of boosting badges, we have Team Badge Boost. This one is a little bit different than those two, however, where I feel like Box Out Wall and Glass Clearing Dimes, they sort of emulate certain badges. Where Box Out Wall emulates Box and Worm, Glass Clearing Dimes emulates Post Playmaker. Team Badge Boost is completely different than those two, yet it's still kind of the same concept. So this is going to boost your receivers' badges in each category that they have them. So for instance, if they have, say, Green Machine, Hot Zone Hunter, Blinders, Rhythm Shooter, Set Shooter, all types of stuff like that, Sniper, all on gold, they're all going to be increased to Hall of Fame, which is huge if you know that you're playing with someone like that. I gotta say, this is a very, very specific takeover that should only be ran with certain people that you know you're going to be lacking shooting with. So for instance, if you're coming out there as a point guard with maybe a 7-3 who can only get gold badges on shooting and stuff like that, and then another lockdown who doesn't have the highest shooting badges or just doesn't have enough, so he just budgets everything and runs them on silver and gold, this is actually a really fire takeover. It's only for that very specific situation though, because obviously you can't go any higher than Hall of Fame. So if your teammate just has 4 Hall of Fame shooting badges, there's no point. There's literally no point at all. And same goes for if you have 2 teammates that are like that. Now, for Pro-Am, again, very interesting idea and topic right here. I do think there are 2 better playmaking takeovers, to be completely honest with you though. One that's a lot better. We'll talk about that toward the top. So now we got easy blow-bys. Again, to me, this isn't really even that much of a slasher takeover, where if you're someone who has good three-pointer and people have to respect your 3, this is going to help you a lot. Obviously, for the sake of if they have to play you high, you get easy blow-bys because people are attached to your hip. If you're a true slasher that can't shoot the ball, I really don't think there's any point in running this takeover because people aren't going to play high enough on you. You're just going to have them sitting paint, and then you need things that are going to help you contact dunk people or help you hop dunk people, where advanced gathers could be kind of viable for actual pure slasher, but again, I just don't see why you wouldn't run finishing moves. But for easy blow-bys, again, I do think this is somewhat viable to run if you're someone who's running also a sharp takeover. So for instance, if you're coming out here and isoing on the 2v2, where you have limitless range, or you have spot up precision, and then on top of that, your double takeover is easy blow-bys, people have to respect your 3 like crazy when that sharp take is activated. And then when it is, you also have easy blow-bys, which is gonna just get you right past people, super easy. I think those are a really nasty badge combo. However, running easy blow-bys as the only takeover you have activated just doesn't really make any sense to me. I think it should be a secondary takeover paired with a sharp take, and then boom, that's when you're really working with this. For our final C tier badge, we have Extreme Clamps, and you guys know how I feel about badges that are pretty much just an extension of another badge, and Clamps itself is kind of overrated as well. Now, if Clamps and Extreme Clamps both did what I want it to do, where it would boost your lateral quickness, they would be S tier badges and S tier takeovers just like that. But unfortunately, all it is good for is pretty much cutoffs and bumps and stuff like that, or hip riding, whatever the case you want to make for it. Long story short is, if this actually made you slide faster and you were able to subsequently cut people off better because of it, I know, big word, but anyway, if you were able to cut people off better just because you're faster, then boom, I would love this. But when you have to get good body up animations and it's at the mercy of 2K and stuff like that of when that actually happens, I'm not a big fan of it. I really don't think this takeover is any good. There are 2 pretty solid lock takeovers this year actually that we're gonna have higher on this list. So that's all the C tier badges right there. So that's all the C tier takeovers right there. Now we have the B. We got finishing moves, team rating boost, enhanced jump shot contest, advanced post moves, and see the future. So we have the highest ranked glass takeover on the list. We have the highest ranked finishing takeover on the list. Then we got a couple mid tiers in terms of it's going to be the second ranked lock takeover, it's going to be the second ranked play takeover, and it's going to be the 3rd out of 4th of the post takeovers. So anyway, finishing moves, by far the best for all types of pure slashers out there. I think it's just a really good takeover, helps you get contact dunks, helps you catch lobs. It's a very just easy to work with takeover, and it's good for pick and rollers out there too. Just overall good takeover for people who are slashing. It's as simple as that. So on to the next one with team rating boost. In my opinion, this is going to be one that you shouldn't run as a point guard. I think this is going to be one that's actually a little bit better as a big man or a lockdown. Now, for you to run this as your primary takeover or even secondary and you're trying to get double take, either way, you're gonna have to do things that are related to this takeover. So that's a little bit unfortunate because I feel like this would be the perfect takeover for someone who's just in a more role player situation, and it's just something like that. Now, if your team plays for team takeover, you having team rating boost on is gonna boost everybody, even if you're, if someone pops team takeover and you have team rating boost as one of your 2 takeovers, that is gonna be activated. So if you're someone who likes to play with people who are activating team takeover, it's definitely worth thinking about. If you run 2 of these, it's going to double up, and that's going to be disgusting too. However, again, if you're not planning to run for team takeover and stuff like that, it's going to be a little bit harder for you to get your progress as a lockdown or a big man when it comes to actually doing playmaker takeover related things. But me personally, I don't think a point guard should run this. I think the whole point of it is to actually let your point guard get boost to his offensive attributes. So that's how I feel about that takeover. Advanced post moves right here is going to help you with post spins, drop steps, all types of stuff like that. Clear outs, when you hit the X button to pump fake, it's going to push people. At least that's what it did in the past. But long story short, I don't think this is the most amazing takeover, but it's definitely the second best of the post takeovers. I will say, just stay tuned for the final one, which is going to be post shot daggers, which is big time for people who like to fade, hop, do hooks, all types of stuff like that. I feel like the advanced post moves, again, is more so just an extension of a couple badges like drop stepper and, you know, stuff like that. Now, the clear out one is definitely an aspect of it that you can't have with any badge. To be able to just push people out of the way when you can go for the X button on the pump fakes and stuff like that, it's pretty cool, but I don't think it's the most viable thing. But because it helps you on post spins and drop steps, which are a pretty key part of a lot of post scorers' abilities out there, I think this is definitely a viable takeover in the B tier. For enhanced jump shot contest, you guys know how this game plays. It's very hard to get shot contest in this game, and anything that can help you in that regard is definitely going to be nice to have. I don't think this is the best lock takeover though. I think perimeter badge drop that you're going to see later in the video is really, really viable in that sense, because it's going to be dropping very key badges. So when you're close enough to get contest anyway, it's going to just do what you would want enhanced jump shot contest to do. Now, one thing I don't like about this takeover is that you have to be really close for it to work anyway. And to be honest with you, I might be overrating this quite a bit. It might belong in the C tier, right where extreme clamps is, because honestly, the couple of times that I've had this on, I feel like I don't see the boost that I really want to see in it, where maybe I do get ghost contest every now and then. I feel like I should be rewarded with a lockdown takeover for maybe things that I shouldn't be getting contest otherwise. And I feel like ghost contest, where say I'm a little bit off the person I'm defending and I'm not extremely close, but I would just wish that I could get an extension of my jump shot contest like the badge says. But really, I think what it is it turns things that are more like 10s and 20s into 30s and stuff like that, where it's going to be hard for point guards to hit those. But again, the principle is still the same. You have to actually still be in the point guard's face and still contest it. So I might be gassing this one up a little bit too much in everybody's opinion and in my own opinion. For our final B tier takeover, we have See the Future. This is by far my favorite glass takeover of all of them. It's the only one I really even choose to run at this point anymore. And what's so nice about this is just if you're a quick reaction person, or if you're an undersized big who's really fast, you're gonna be able to see where the ball goes. You don't exactly have to be in the perfect position every single time to track them down. It's pretty responsive now too. Last year it popped up really, really late when the shots would go up, but now it's pretty easy to see. However, depending on what court you're on, if your court is gray, let's say the Northside Knights, right? If the court is gray, it's very hard to see where the actual thing is gonna pop up, because inside the perimeter on north side courts is going to be gray, and that's what the actual cursor looks like when you see the Future pop up. So just keep that in mind. But I do think this is by far my favorite glass takeover, and at this point, like I said, the only one I even run anymore. All right, so into the A tier, we have our first shooting takeover and our first two shot creator takeovers in the A tier. That's as far as they go to the bottom. And if that tells you anything, it definitely speaks to the shooting in this game. Now, these just add on top of it too, so we'll talk about that in a second. But as you can see, we have stuff blocks, negative impact, limitless range, post shot daggers, ankle breaking shots, and perimeter badge drop. So for stuff blocks, by far my favorite rim takeover. It's the only one I would even recommend anybody on my team to ever use. It's really as simple as it makes it harder for people to dunk on you. You get crazy chase downs, as if chase downs aren't already crazy enough. And honestly, just it's everything you would want a rim takeover to be. It's just going to help you protect the hoop. It's going to let you do things that aren't just related to shot contesting. You're going to be able to actually swat people's stuff out of the way. It's just ridiculous. So stuff blocks is definitely the highest rim take on this takeover list. Negative impact is going to reduce the impact of shot contest against pull-ups, step backs, and spin shots, as if shot contesting isn't already hard enough, like I was saying with the enhanced jump shot contest takeover. And honestly, negative impact is ridiculous. Now, what it needs to be is something that fits your playstyle. If you're someone who's doing pull-up jumpers, I'm talking like fadeaways, or you're doing step back, spin jumpers, stuff like that, this is a really good takeover for you. However, that doesn't fit a lot of people's playstyle, so it is what it is. But at the same time, again, this is ridiculous in terms of if it actually does fit your playstyle right here. You get ridiculously lowered shot contest on these type of things, and that's what negative impact is good for. So for limitless range, this takeover is pretty self-explanatory. It's going to help you shoot from deep. I feel like with the two badges of Chef and Limitless Spot Up not exactly working how they're intended to, this is also a very helpful takeover. On top of that, if you're someone who's playing as a point guard in pick and roll situations where you maybe want to shoot from extremely deep and the two badges don't always exactly allow you to do so, or you need the takeover to actually be able to do it consistently. So something to keep in mind. I'm not sitting here saying it's the best takeover though. I do think spot up precision is just better in general than this. It helps you shoot the ball more than Limitless Range would, in my opinion. But if you're someone who doesn't really struggle with timing their jump shot and you don't need any help actually greening, then maybe Limitless Range is more viable for you, where if you want more range rather than ability to hit consistently because you're already doing so, then Limitless Range is probably the one for you rather than spot up precision. So anyway, post shot daggers, by far the best takeover for post scores in my opinion, and this is just going to deal with, like I said, all types of things between fades, hops, post hooks, all types of stuff like that are all super OP in this game, and combos with a lot of playstyles too. Like you could come out here on 2v2, run with another inside big. This is super toxic. I would, you know, it's pretty disgusting to be completely honest with you. But you come out here, you have post shot daggers on, you're already fading and hooking and hopping and stuff like that. That's super uncontestable already, especially if you're super tall. And again, it combos with another playstyle very well, where you could run with inside bigs or outside bigs or anything like that, or just play with another spot up, like someone who's going to play as a lockdown because you're a little bit slower. You need someone that has better speed. Either way, this is all going to work pretty well for hooking, hopping, and fading, and they're all super good. So anyway, moving along. Ankle breaking shots, super annoying takeover right here. I'm talking people can just sit here and just spam ankle breakers all day, especially if you have the badge too. Then add on space crater and stuff like that too. I mean, man, it is annoying to play against people who run with this takeover and have the supporting badges on top of it. Pretty much, it's what you would want Playmaker Takeover to do. It's ankle breaking. It's not even shots. You don't even have to go for shots. It literally just breaks ankles better and really makes no sense that this isn't a shot creator takeover. I really do feel like that a Playmaker Takeover should have an ankle breaker option in it, and that's how I stand on that. But anyway, again, super annoying takeover to defend. People are just going to be doing spin jumpers, step backs, hop steps, all types of stuff like that, and you're not going to be able to defend it. And when you do, you're still going to get your ankles broke on non-shot related things. So, super annoying takeover right there. On a perimeter badge drop, my favorite lock takeover of all of them. This is going to drop every badge of the offensive person that you're guarding. You're going to be able to drop their unpluckable, quick first step, handles for days, all types of stuff like that. Every shooting badge, as long as you're contesting them pretty tightly. And like I said, it's going to just drop people's blinders, deadeye, all types of stuff, hot zone hunter. The list goes on, and as long as you're playing solid defense, perimeter badge drop is super fire. So the only reason I don't have this in the S tier is because all these other offensive takeovers are super overpowered, and they just completely just are so much more dominant than perimeter badge drop is itself, because you still have to play good defense. You still have to stay in front of the person you're defending and actually play good defense. Whereas with these ones right here, you're at the mercy of them, whereas with this one you're at the mercy of these guys. So pretty much what I'm getting at, spot up precision and pull up precision just help you make 3-pointers in whichever category that you actually want to be boosted in. So stand still 3-pointers, boom, spot up precision is disgusting. For off the dribble fades and stuff like that, pull up precision is disgusting. And realistically, you pair this with ankle breaking shots or negative impact and just run double shot takeover on 2s. I really don't enjoy playing on 2s because you're gonna see stuff like this all over the court, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like fades and step back 3s and just shooting off of the step backs as well is super annoying to defend, and I feel like people haven't really caught on to this yet, and I'm just worried for the day that it finally does get caught on to. But anyway, again, those 2 takeovers just completely boost your shot ratings and stuff like that in each of those categories, and it's pretty self-explanatory for that. Now for team takeover boost, this is disgusting. Like, I'm talking, this takeover is so slept on, and you're gonna see it. I'm gonna make a video on this eventually. My boy Mio, he goes back to 2K18 with me. He put me onto the fact that he was running double on this. Like, he was running double team takeover boost, had his double takeover activated, and you don't even have to pass to the person. They will get takeover boost without you passing to them. Like, so I'm talking, I could be the center for all I care and have double team takeover boost activated, and my point guard for scoring 3-pointers that are not related to me passing to him or anything like that is gonna get crazy takeover boost to his 3-pointers and stuff like that. If he has double sharp take, or say he's slashing or something like that and he has double slash take, it's gonna be disgusting as far as how far your takeover bar actually goes. So you will see that. For reference, my boy Mio, he sent me this clip. I'm not going to relay it because, again, I want to make an actual video on specifically this, and showing it would completely deter from me actually doing that. But he sent me a clip of where his teammate was on single takeover, and he was shooting a 3-pointer. He got fouled on the 3-pointer, and then he went to the free throw line for 3 free throws. He went from single take to team takeover in 3 free throws, while Mio had his double team takeover boost activated. So that just speaks to the power of this takeover right here. I think a lot of people are sleeping on this. It's disgusting, and I highly recommend that you actually check it out for yourself. So anyway, that's all for the video. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on them noties, all that good stuff. If you made it to the end of the video, put takeover in the comments to show your support, man, all the way through. Other than that, like I said, if we can try this 1 to 1,000 likes, I'd really appreciate that. And that if you want to check out the badge tier list and stuff like that of the finishing, shooting, playmaking, or defense, feel free to check those out. I might do the takeover perks pretty soon too, but I feel like I need more information on a couple of the underground perks and stuff like that. And maybe we'll just talk in a separate video about the power of, say, extender or accelerator or sponge, juice, all types of stuff like that with the takeover perks. But I don't know, there are some really useless ones in there that I feel like I really just don't even want to talk about in the first place. It might be a couple of F tier and E tiers if we're doing that video. But anyway, that's all for vid. Hope y'all enjoyed. Other than that, take it easy, man. Peace.